Okay, so I found this video, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, by Escaping Ordinary BC Marks. Never heard of this channel before, but it looks like a high production value. So let's see where this takes us.
3,276,948.
Wow.
At the time of this recording, that is how many years Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX and Tesla, could survive into the future.
We're just talking about
if he were to spend the average American salary of $56,500 into the future. That is how many years he would have spent the average American salary of $56,516 per year.
Every year.
Put another way, even if you were able to save an unrealistic 50% of your salary and stash it under the mattress every year,
you could still never make it to Elon Musk's level.
Take you 6.5
tweet
million.
Posted. Oh, not anymore. We just posted about this. Elon took big L, banned from Twitter, or at least suspended.
Years to save your way to Elon's wealth. Okay, I get it.
Oh, so it would take 6.5 million years to save that much? Damn,
Get it.
it's a lot.
So we can't all be the richest people on the planet. But how about $1 million?
$1 million.
Surely that couldn't be that hard, right?
Well, still
let's
pretty
say
hard.
you're the average engineer earning $80,000 per year.
Okay,
It would
this
take
guy's hot,
16 years just to earn $1 million.
Average engineer.
But that doesn't include rent, food, cost of living. And if you diligently and consistently save 10% of your earnings,
10%.
it would take 156 years to save your way to $1 million.
Damn, that guy's
the average
old now.
teacher, 217 years.
Damn.
Bartender, 625 years.
Of
You
course.
see, for the rich, wealth is measured in time.
Yeah.
If you lost your job tomorrow, how many days, months, or years could you survive on your savings?
Well, if you're walking through a jungle with nothing but a briefcase and your clothes, then yeah, you're probably reducing your life expectancy by quite a bit. But I mean, if you lost your job, you could probably, I don't know, you'll eventually end up like begging for cash on the street.
That is the definition of wealth.
Definition of wealth. How long
So
could
how
you
long could you
survive?
survive?
I see.
This book will give you the financial intelligence
that
that
guy?
you probably missed out
Oh,
on
it's a
growing
book.
up. The secret financial intelligence that wealthy families pass on from generation to generation. The education system your parents forgot to teach you. Not getting this information is why so many people remain forever stuck in the rat race.
Oh.
By the end of this video, you will know 95% of everything this book has to offer.
Oh, really?
You'll have a bird's eye view of all the most important concepts and quotes that will change your perception of wealth and guide you on your journey to financial freedom. Let's jump into it.
Okay.
Rich Dad
Escaping
Poor Dad.
Ordinary.
The story of two fathers. One has a wall full of degrees and diplomas.
Yeah,
One,
but he's
a high
poor.
school dropout.
Oh, but
One,
he's rich.
after death, will leave next to nothing behind except debt.
Oh no.
The other will have died one of the richest men in Hawaii and will pass on his empire to his children.
The richest man in Hawaii, is that a big bar to get over?
Rich Dad guides two boys on a journey to best use their minds and finite time to create wealth through investments and business.
Yeah.
This story shows the difference between I can't afford that to how can I afford that?
Okay.
His poor dad would
well,
say
I mean,
thi-
if they're rich, then they can afford that by like selling some of their stock options probably. But like if you're poor, then yeah, you can't afford that. If you weren't poor, then you could afford stuff.
Things like I'll never be rich, and his prophecies became true.
I mean, it's not like, is this guy saying like it's the attitude of poor people that's like, oh, poor people say they'll never be rich, so they never will. I mean, if this theoretical poor person is like very highly educated, then he probably could like work really hard, but he'll still be poor because of the system keeping him down. I mean, when you think of a poor person, this is not what you think of, right?
Dad would say things like I'll never be rich, and his prophecies became true.
His prophecies
His
became
rich
true.
dad, however, even after going bankrupt and having $0, would say,
Oh.
I'm a rich man. There's a difference between being poor and being broke.
Oh yeah, that's cope right there. even once I'm bankrupt and lost all my money, I'm still rich because I got the rich mindset. He's got the sigmillionaire mindset, and he's just gonna grind his way back to the top. Yeah, good luck with that. Maybe if you still have all your connections in the business world, all your networking stuff, then maybe you could make it. But yeah, good luck with that. All these people who say that, like, oh, I may be rich, but if I lost everything, I could make it back to the top. Yeah, well, why don't you do that then? Huh? They never actually do that. They never actually prove that they can. I think there was that annoying rich son of a billionaire, like, tried to beg for money, but realized how hard it is to, like, be homeless and live on the street. That'll probably be what happens. Yeah. Well, it was Ben Carson who said that. Yeah, Ben Carson, the great mind of our generation. That guy. That guy had such wacky things to say. One of them, not even the most crazy thing. It's like, oh, since I'm so great and knowledgeable and skilled, even if I lost everything, I could work my way back to the top by, I don't know, being a doctor. I mean, that's another thing. Like, even if you lost everything, you still have the education, you still have the skill set that you got, like, from being rich in the first place, and, like, being able to get that education and experience, and the networking. The networking is really what's important. Like, knowing the right people to get you in the right places. You still probably know all your rich friends who can get you a job, get you, who can, like, guide you down the right path, but poor people don't have that. That's something a lot of rich guys take for granted.
Say, I'm a rich man. There's a difference between being poor and being broke.
Yeah, being poor means that you have a poor mindset, which means that you don't try hard.
Broke is temporary.
Broke.
Poor is eternal.
Yeah, poor means you have the poor mindset, as in, like, as in you just given up on being rich. But, you know, there's a lot of grind set guys out there who work 12-hour days, or like 50, 60, 70-hour work weeks even, and they still remain poor their whole lives, working 2, 3, 4 jobs. And no matter how hard you work, if you don't get very lucky or make a lot of very good financial decisions, like, and it's really a lot of luck, then you're gonna stay poor. Then, like, no matter how hard you work, you're still gonna be poor. I mean, some of the hardest working people in America are also the poorest people, right? It reminds me of that quote from The Office. America is so great because anything can happen to anybody. It's just all random. Yeah, being successful or not successful in America is largely a game of chance. Of course, there's skill and talent and risk-taking involved, but it's a lot of chance. That guy's just falling down the poor hole, I guess.
The rich don't work for money.
Rich don't work. Oh, hey, maybe we'll agree on something here. Yeah, the rich don't work for money. They get other people to work for them, and they get their money from those people.
Poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them.
Rich have money work for
them. When
them.
Robert Kiyosaki, the author of this book, was 9 years old, his best friend Mike and he asked Rich Dad, Mike's father, how to make money.
Step 1, have a lot of money. Step 2, use that money to get more money. Is that what he's going to say?
They were both working within Rich Dad's companies. The only problem Robert had was his salary.
Oh, so they're already working in the Rich Dad's company. I mean, yeah, that's the main way rich people get rich, by getting their dad to get them a job, or send them to a wealthy school where they can get all the good connections.
10 cents a week. A poverty wage.
Oh.
He seriously thought about quitting every week that passed by. Who was this guy to be exploiting us for 10 cents a week, he would ask himself.
Yeah.
It was at this moment in time that
Wait, they were working for the Rich Dad for 10 cents a week? What an asshole dad. I would literally I would literally, like, if this guy was my dad, I would just, like, steal as much money from him as possible and then just, like, peace out.
Dad gave them their first lesson on the topic of money.
Yeah? What's the lesson?
Life pushes all of us around. Some people give up, and others fight.
Yeah.
If you learn the lesson and move on, you welcome life pushing them around.
Uh-huh.
Most people leave their jobs because they aren't receiving enough money. They would have already quit. The wealthy see it as an opportunity
to learn. Wait, hold on. They leave their jobs because they aren't getting enough money, but not being paid enough for your job is actually a learning opportunity. What are you learning by not being paid well enough? I mean, you're learning that your boss is a greedy asshole. That's one thing that you're gonna learn. A greedy, fat cat who doesn't care about you and just uses you for your labor, and wants to squeeze as much labor juice out of you as possible without giving you barely anything in return. If some give up and others fight. Okay, so they're saying, like, by not paying them enough, they're making them struggle, and the struggle is what creates great men who learn to work through the struggle. But I mean, that's not really how it works, I don't think, because people are already struggling enough, I think, and paying them more would allow them to, you know, solve, like, some of their problems so they can focus on being better people, right? Like, it's hard to work at your job, like, as hard as you can if you have, like, 10 or 20 other things that are bothering you and, like, that you have to deal with. Like you need to get your car fixed to get to work, but you don't have enough money to fix your car, so it's always, like, I don't know, breaking down, or you're afraid it's going to break down, or you're afraid that you won't be able to make rent this month, or you have to cut down on groceries so you're not getting as nutritious sustenance as you can, so you're working not as efficiently. There's all sorts of things. Yeah. People have to have, like, a baseline needs met before they can actually be as productive as possible. That's what I take.
Quit. The wealthy see it as an opportunity to learn.
To learn what? How to struggle?
One of life's biggest traps.
Life will push you around. I mean, yeah, life will push you around, and yeah, you should, like, learn to work through that and deal with the struggle. But, like, why would you struggle if you don't have to? Like, why would you make someone struggle if they don't have to? Like, aren't they struggling enough? Isn't life hard enough for them? Yeah.
They work very hard for little money, clinging to the illusion of job security, 3 weeks vacation, and a skimpy pension.
Wait, 3 weeks vacation? That's still not that much. I mean, really? They work very hard for little money.
People's lives are forever controlled by two emotions: fear and greed.
I mean, yeah, the greedy people are the rich people who hoard all the money for themselves, right? And they fear that the lower classes will realize that they're being taken advantage of and rise up against them and, like, actually demand something from them, at least higher taxes, right? Is that what they mean? Probably not.
Here's how the pattern goes. Your fear of not having money motivates you to work harder. Then the paychecks begin, and your desire and greed for new cars, new products, new shoes and clothes begins.
Yeah, and that's a bad thing, right? I mean, if greed is what's driving you, I mean, all these right-wingers give speeches about how greed is good, but greed is literally like a sin. It's one of the big sins. The deadly sins, even. Yeah, this guy's literally chasing around carrots on a stick. Like, that's not good, right?
You want more?
And he's being led off a cliff by chasing the stick, but, like, they're both tied to a chopstick. What is this analogy? They're jumping. He's being led off a cliff, but he's being suspended in the air at the same time. What?
So
and what is this hand? Whose hand does this belong to? What?
You work harder for that promotion. Then the pattern is set.
Is this the hand of greed? Is this the hand of fear? Or is it the hand of their boss? Like, puppeteering their whole lives.
And you're stuck in it. You work harder for that promotion.
You work harder.
Then the pattern is set. And you're stuck in it.
Yeah, and
you
that's
get
bad.
Up, you go to work, you come home and you pay your bills.
Yeah.
Your increased earning leads to increased spending. And this is the rat race.
Increased earning.
To break the boys out of the 9-to-5 mentality driven by fear and greed, eventually Rich Dad cut down the two boys' wages to zero.
Cut the wages to zero? Okay, so that's literally like taking advantage of people. Wait, they already said they were paying them almost nothing. And then now they're paying them literally nothing. Like, why can't you just pay them a little bit? I mean, they're not going to get like cocky because they're being paid like $1 an hour or whatever. I mean, really? Is that gonna teach them anything? And also, like, yeah, this is making cutting their pay look cool, like they're slashing their paycheck with a samurai sword, but it's really just them being an asshole.
But didn't dare tell his poor dad that he was working for nothing. They began working solely for the knowledge, and Rich Dad forced them to think of ways to start generating their own income.
Solely for the knowledge? I mean, you can work solely for the knowledge if you're already rich and you already don't have to worry about money, right? But like 99% of people work so they can get paid enough to like live a comfortable life, or at least meet their basic needs. Yeah, I don't know what this lesson is.
Where was I?
The rich don't work for money.
One day, two older comics were left lying around one of Rich Dad's stores.
Oh yeah.
And this was the inspiration for them to open their first business. They recovered the outdated comics.
Comic books lying on the ground inspired them? Okay. Yeah, sounds like rich boy shit.
Opened a library in their basement. Classmates paid 10 cents for entry. They paid the sister a wage of $1 a week. And before they knew it...
$1 a week? That is not a lot. I mean, a $1 a day, maybe. But maybe I would do that if I was like 10 years old. But $1 a week? Well, how much money are they making? That's the real question. I mean, maybe if they're using the money to buy more books to add to the library, then that makes sense. But like, at a certain point, the library is going to be big enough, right? And then you're making a lot of money once you have a lot of books. So like, where's this money going?
They were earning $9.50 a week without even needing to work. This was...
I mean, that's still not a lot, right? I mean, is it really worth it? Maybe. Yeah. This is a rich kid project, because like, look mommy, I made $9 this week. It's like, oh, I'm so proud of you, honey. Yeah, you're gonna grow up to be a great businessman. Yeah, whatever.
It was the beginning of their journey of not working to earn money, but making money work for them.
I mean, yeah, it's easy to make money work for you when you already have all the money you could ever need or want. I mean, these are literally rich kids with like a fat cat capitalist dad we're talking about, right?
Key lesson.
Fishing. Key lesson.
Getting a job is really just a short-term solution, getting enough to pay expenses, to the long-term challenge of building your net worth.
Okay, but what if it's not that? What if having a stable job is the end game, which it is for like a lot of people. A lot of people just want a job so they can get money, get enough money to live a stable, comfortable life, and then live a life outside of just their career, right? That's the whole purpose of having a job for a lot of people. I mean, right?
Getting enough to pay expenses, to the long-term challenge of building your net worth.
Building net worth.
The more you get paid, the higher your expenses become. This is human nature.
I mean, yeah, unless you just save money and don't, I mean, it's human nature maybe if you're a capitalist, like if you're a greedy, driven by fear and desire. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, if you're earning more, you'll spend more, but like you can also save more if you really wanted to.
And it's driven by fear and desire.
Fear and desire. Yeah, which are bad things, right? You should maybe work to control that.
stuck in this cycle, you are forced to work for someone else the rest of your life.
Yeah, maybe we should fix that. Maybe we should make it so like people can like work their jobs and have a work-life balance without being like enslaved by like this mysterious invisible hand of the free market dangling penance in front of them, just leading them around for their whole lives, right?
Once you get stuck in this cycle, you are forced to work for someone else the rest of your life.
Okay, sure, whatever. That's bad, right? The rich don't trade their time for money. They don't.
Lesson 2.
Wait, I thought they did.
Why teach financial literacy?
Why? Because it's
not how much money you make. It's how much money you keep.
Well, it's also how much money you make, right? Because if you're making barely enough money to meet your living expenses, then you can't keep any money, right? I mean, that's the whole thing I just said before. Like, if your earnings go up, you can either save that money or use that money to buy more expensive stuff, right? So, like, if you're earning more money, then that means you can save more money. You're capable of saving more money, right? Yeah?
If you're looking to school to make you rich, then you're looking in the wrong place. The education system's primary objective is to train you on how to become a good employee, but it does a poor job of making you a good employer. Things like managing your own personal finances and...
I mean, you can go to business school for that too, right? You can take like economics and business classes to learn how to become a manager. Like, how do you think people learn how to manage a business? Do you think they learn it through experience? Or like, as in like, 1/3 of small businesses fail within the first few years or something, and you build experience by like starting businesses that fail until like you finally on like the 10th try start a business that doesn't fail, and then you have enough experience from all your previous failed businesses to finally run this business like effectively. Or maybe you can just go to school for that so you get it right the first time.
Building wealth aren't taught to you by the education system in its current state.
Yeah. I mean, this is all science and math stuff, which is important to know if you want to, like, become a scientist. I mean, you're not going to learn this through life experience. I mean, I guess you can self-teach, but you're still going to be reading textbooks all day.
You can only rely on yourself to use this knowledge and acquire assets that allow you to generate an income.
Acquire assets?
The first
acquiring assets? I mean, what does that mean? I mean, you got to get a good job. You use the knowledge you acquire in school to apply for a job and then do well at that job. What assets are we talking about?
Pillar of financial literacy and escaping the rat race is understanding the difference between an asset and a liability.
Yeah, there was two opposite things, yes.
An asset puts money in my pocket. A liability takes money out of my pocket.
Okay, I'm following.
Let's quickly look at the income statement.
Okay.
The income statement is money going into your pocket.
Okay, so you have income, which is the money you get, and then expenses, which is the money you spend.
Expenses is money going out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Things like rent, food, electricity, and clothing go here.
Yeah.
An asset is something that allows its owner to generate an income. On the other hand, a liability generates expenditure.
Okay, so hold on. Money in versus money out. Okay, I'm writing this down. Okay,
cash flow of an asset. This is the cash flow of a liability.
An asset. Okay, so an asset increases your income and a liability increases your expenses. Oh wow, this is very high level theory. Yeah, I'm glad I'm watching the video instead of buying the book to learn all this. Yeah, at least I'm not wasting my money. Hey, if I bought the book, that would be a liability, right? If I was dumb enough to buy BS books like this that teach me stuff that I could figure out by like thinking for 5 seconds, then yeah, that would be a pretty big liability, I'd say.
Rich people acquire assets. Poor and the middle class acquire liabilities that they think are assets.
I don't know. I think rich people also acquire a lot of liabilities as well. I mean, probably having a bunch of properties, a bunch of I don't know, super expensive stuff that you don't need is is not an asset. I mean, maybe if you own a bunch of real estate, that is an asset because like you can resell it. But like, yeah, I think rich people waste their money on stuff all the time. As for poor and middle class people acquiring asset or liabilities, I mean, yeah, that does happen. Yeah.
Cash flow patterns.
Cash flow
Cash
Wait,
flow.
that was it? I mean, acquire assets and get rid of liabilities? I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Tells a story of how someone handles money.
Okay. Tells the story.
This is the cash flow of a poor person.
Oh
They
wait,
have a job,
we're back at the
they
income
get a salary,
charts.
They use all their salary on expenses, and they usually live from paycheck to paycheck.
I mean, yeah, because they are not making enough money to have any savings, right? This is what we just talked about, right?
This is the cash flow of
Yeah.
the middle class. They have jobs, they get a salary, but most of their money is tied up in liabilities and expenses.
Okay. Okay, so liabilities bad, assets good. Okay, I'm taking
Homes,
notes.
car debt, credit card debt, mortgage repayments, and taxes. They
Yeah.
think that their home is an asset, but they wake up one day with a liability column full of mortgage debt and credit card debt.
They think that a home is an asset, but mortgages are too expensive. Okay, so maybe the problem is that mortgages are too high, rent is too high. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we should reduce the cost of living. Maybe that's the solution. Or is the solution just A, make more money, or B, live within your means. Live within your means, as in accept a lower standard of living.
This is the cash flow of a rich person. The rich are always thinking of ways to grow their asset columns. Their main source of
Yeah.
income is from assets that they have acquired over time.
Wait, hold on. What is in the liabilities column here? Do
That they
do
have
rich people
acquired
not
an
have
asset
as many
column of a
liabilities?
credit
Hold
card
on.
debt.
Middle class people have car loans, home loans, credit card debt, and school debt. Yeah, and then
This is the cash flow of a rich person.
okay, so rich people have credit card debt, home loan, consumer loans. Wait, what was the other one? Home loans, car loans. I mean, hold on. Do rich people not have car loans? I guess rich people are rich enough to just buy their cars, right? Instead of having to like rent them out or loan them out. And then also, how do they have credit card debt if they're rich? Wouldn't they just pay off the debt? I guess, yeah. And then liabilities is school debt. I guess that means that like the interest on the debt accrues over time. So like if you don't pay it off, you'll end up owing more money, right? But like, again, is that their fault? It's because they don't have enough money. That's the problem here. They don't have enough money, so they can't pay off the debts, so they keep accruing interest. So yeah, the solution is to stop being poor. Yeah. If you want to be rich, just get more money, right? Is that the solution here?
This is the cash flow of a rich person.
Stocks, you have to be rich to buy those. Real estate, bonds, businesses, intellectual property. You already have to be rich to have all these assets. What are you talking about? How do you get rich in the first place? Like, I mean, yeah, if you're middle class, you can buy some stocks, maybe, but like all these other things, yeah, you have to be rich to buy these things. Yeah. I mean, rich people use the money they already have to make more money. That's established. But like, how do you get rich in the first place? How do you escape the cycle of poverty? Right? Also, consumer loans, home loan, credit card debt. You could pay off all of these, like, if you're rich. I mean, and you still have to pay all of these if you're poor. If you're poor, you have all these liabilities plus a bunch of other liabilities that, I mean, rich people would have if they weren't rich enough to just pay them off, right? I mean, they said school debt. School debt is not included in this liability, Because they already paid it off. You think rich people don't go to expensive ass schools? They do. They just don't have debt because they can pay it off right away, right?
Rich are always thinking of ways to grow their asset columns.
Expensive taxes. Oh yeah, that must be so hard for you. Rich people have to pay taxes. Oh no. Yeah, it's so hard being rich when the government takes 40% of your money, leaving you with only $50 million. That must be so hard for you.
Their main source of income is from assets that they have acquired over time.
Yeah, assets instead of actual labor. They earn money by owning things instead of working, which maybe is not a great thing. Maybe they should work a little bit, right?
Your home is not an asset.
I mean, maybe it can be if it has a high resale value, but let's see.
Focusing on a home, you are building a liability rather than an asset.
Yeah.
When it comes to houses, most people work all their lives paying for a home they might never own, incurring 30-year loans that they are tied to.
Okay, so that's a problem. So maybe we can fix the housing market, maybe, but I'm guessing that's not the solution this guy's going for. The solution is work harder, grind harder, so you can be wealthy enough to pay off your mortgage.
To pay property tax, and the rates of these taxes are completely out of your control.
Yeah.
You need to pay other home expenses.
Yeah.
And the value of your home over time does not always go up. And most important of all, the biggest cost of a house are all the lost opportunities. If all your money is tied up in a house and going out through the expense column in mortgage payments, it's not being used to grow your asset column.
Okay, wait, so what's the solution? Is the solution to rent instead of own a home? I mean, most people in America already rent, and rent is too damn high. It has been for decades. I mean, the solution here is to fix the housing market and make housing more affordable, right? I mean, what's the solution here? Let's see.
Furthermore, think of all the other investment experience that you're missing out on when you...
Oh, okay, so instead of spending money on your mortgage, spend your money buying stocks and intellectual property, which will earn you enough money to pay your mortgage.
You only focus on local residential real estate. Here are some examples of real assets.
Okay, let's see some examples.
An apartment, which generates monthly payments from a tenant, and the...
Wait, so the solution to paying your mortgage is to buy a house and rent it out to someone else, and that pays your mortgage? Okay. Yeah, the solution is literally just don't be poor. Just literally get more money and just spend it just to like get people below you to give you their money so you can exploit people more. Okay. Yeah, it's literally step 1, have a lot of money. Step 2, use that money to buy more money. Hold on. So you're buying a house. So to afford your mortgage, you buy a house and then rent it out to people who are poorer than you, I assume, and then use the money to pay off the mortgage for the house that you live in. Oh my gosh, like, if you can afford to buy a house to rent out to others, then you're probably affording your mortgage already, right? Like, what?
Of real assets.
Yeah?
An apartment, which generates monthly payments from a tenant.
Okay.
And the repayment...
Okay. Yes. How to not be poor. Step 1, become a landlord and hold people's housing over their heads as a threat to force them to give you money.
Payments allow you to repay the loan repayments on that property. And the repayments allow you to repay the loan repayments on that property.
The payments allow you to repay.
And the repayments allow you to repay the loan repayments on that property.
Payments allow you to repay the loan repayments on your property. The Edison Company.
A business that doesn't require you to be present within it.
Okay, so step 2 on how to not be poor. Start a business. Again, what is the number? Over a third of small businesses fail within the first, 3 years, 4 years?
For poor dad, a home was an asset. For rich dad, a home was a liability.
Does the rich dad not own a house? What? Is the rich dad spending less on their house than the poor dad is? I don't get it.
This is how poor dad's income statement looks.
Okay, so how to be poor, how to not be poor is to spend less money. How to be rich is earn more money. Okay.
Take note of the inflated liabilities. And this is rich dad's income statement. Over time...
How to be poor, spend more money and earn less money. How to be rich, spend less money and earn more money. Okay, I think I'm getting it now. Oh, okay. More money is good, less money bad.
He has grown his asset column.
Okay.
Most people fall into this trap all the time because they are financially illiterate. They don't understand the relationship and differences between the balance sheet and the income statement.
This is so condescending. Like, do you think like most poor people don't understand like the difference between like an asset and a liability? Like, yeah, you spend as little money as possible while making as much money as possible. Like, it's so condescending to it's like literally Richsplaining to poor people how to not be poor. Yeah, this is Richsplaining. It's rich people telling poor people to just buy stocks or like buy property to escape the cycle of poverty. Like, what is the solution here? Financial literacy?
Why people struggle.
Because they're poor. People struggle because they're poor. That's the answer, right?
If you follow what the masses do, this is what your life will become.
Yeah.
You have 3 people that you work for.
Your boss, your other boss, and your boss's boss.
You work for the company to get a salary. You're making the owner and the shareholders rich.
Yeah.
If you have debt, then you work...
Okay, so maybe that's a problem. Maybe the wealth that you generate should go to you more than like the shareholders or your boss.
Work for the bank. Your mortgage and credit cards make the bank rich through your interest payments.
Okay, so maybe we should like fix the housing system so like mortgages don't drain like half of your paycheck.
And finally,
rent.
you work for the government. The government takes a cut of your money before you have even seen it.
Yeah.
And the harder you work, the more you pay in taxes.
Or I think the right way to put that would be the more money you make, the more you pay in taxes, right? I mean, what does it mean the harder you work, the more you pay? Like does the government measure how hard you work and tax you based on that? Yeah, I don't know about that. And also taxes go to actually funding things that like public works that like improve everyone's lives. I mean, at least theoretically. In reality, that goes to like tax breaks for billionaires and funding the military-industrial complex. But theoretically, tax money does go to making the world like slightly better.
Take a calendar year.
Yeah.
If you're a regular person, every dollar you earn from January 1st to March 16th goes straight to the government.
Okay.
That's 2.5 months of every year that you just give to the government.
And then theoretically that money comes back to you in the form of like public transportation, public parks, the public being more sanitary, reduced crime rates through social programs, etc. As for the mortgage, that goes to the bank, which just makes the bank owners wealthier.
Compounded.
Oh yeah, that's another way you can not be poor. Step 1. Own a bank and own all the properties and make people pay mortgages to you. It's that simple. Just be rich enough to own a bank.
Over 40 years? That's almost 6 years you work just to pay the taxman.
Whoa.
The rich understand this. The masses don't.
Do the masses not understand the concept of paying taxes? What does that mean? What do the masses not understand? This is Richsplaining. This is so condescending to rich people. Like, oh, the rich people, the poors, they just don't understand that. Oh, you have to make money instead of spend money. Oh, if these low-class cretins would simply stop buying Bugattis with their paychecks, maybe they could afford a home.
The main ways to get out of the rat race.
Step 1, be rich.
Fully understand the difference between an asset and a liability. Focus all your efforts on obtaining assets that generate.
Who doesn't understand this? Okay, if people just like spend their money wantonly and just like waste their money, then yeah, they kind of deserve to be poor. I mean, deserve is a tricky word, but yeah, but a lot of people like save as much money as they can while working their asses off, and they're still poor. Like, this ain't it, Chief.
Well, keep your expenses and debts to the bare minimum. And finally, which leads us to the next lesson, mind your own business.
Mind your own business, okay.
Key lesson. Life is not about how much money you make. It is about how much money you keep, and for how many generations.
Okay.
The key to achieving this resides...
Wait, how many generations? So, wait. Not how much money you make. Wait, so it's about giving money to your kids. So your kids can have a starting platform to like not struggle and have an education which would allow them to get a good job. Is that what that means?
And for how?
Yeah, so step 1 to not being poor is to be born to rich parents, or parents who are at least wealthy enough to like financially support you and get you a good education.
Many generations. The key to achieving this resides in having financial literacy.
Financial literacy as in spend less, earn more.
Understand the difference between an asset and a liability.
Okay.
The rich build and acquire assets. The poor and the middle class acquire liabilities that they mistakenly think.
Acquire liabilities, as in owning a home, as in like what liabilities? I mean, yes, spend less money. I guess if you can afford to not own a car, if you live in a city with good public transportation, then yeah, you shouldn't own a car because cars are expensive. Yeah, you gotta pay taxes and repairs on and insurance on that. So maybe a lot of people buy cars that are liabilities, but like you have to own cars in most places in America to like travel around.
Think assets.
Yeah. Final chapter. Are we finally almost done? Mind your own business.
Lesson 3. Mind your own business.
I think this guy should mind his own business and stop telling poor people to stop being poor by being rich.
Rich focus on their asset columns, while everyone else focuses on their income statements.
What? Their asset columns instead of their income statements?
Robert Kiyosaki's first professional job was far from glamorous. He was a photocopier salesman for Xerox. Using the wages he earned, he invested into apartments. And after just 3 years, the revenue he was generating...
Wait a second.
He was a photocopier salesman for Xerox. Using the wages he earned, he invested into apartments. And after just 3 years, the revenue he was generating from his investments outpaced his salary.
Okay, so step 1 to becoming rich, get a job that earns you enough money to become a landlord, and then get rich by being a landlord? Is that it?
It was then time for him to leave Xerox and look after his business full-time.
Okay, so then he becomes a full-time landlord. Okay.
So what are some real assets you can begin focusing your attention on?
Oh, here we go. Some real... Bitcoin.
Businesses that do not require your presence to operate.
Okay, so again, start a business if you don't want to be poor. Yeah, that ain't it, Chief.
2. Stocks.
Stocks,
3.
yeah, buy stocks. Bonds.
4. Income generating real estate.
All things that you need money to buy. Also like starting businesses, starting your own business from the ground up is really expensive. Like even if it does end up being successful, you're going to like operate on like razor thin margins. Often you'll be losing money before you make money for months or maybe years.
5. Notes or IOUs.
IOUs.
6. Royalties
Like what?
from intellectual properties like music, scripts, or patent.
Okay, so step 6 is be a musician or be a coder and create something unique that you can patent. I mean, yeah, if you could do that, that would be great. But I mean, at least that's the most realistic option, is like create something unique that you can patent and earn money off of that. But like still, that's not a solution for like all the wage slaves out there who are earning barely enough to survive.
7. Anything else that produces an income or appreciates in value. Things like cryptocurrencies, websites.
Oh, cryptocurrencies, there it is. Oh yeah. Step 7, buy crypto or buy websites. Yeah, how'd that work out for you, buying crypto, huh?
YouTube channels, etc.
Wait, buying YouTube?
Things
or
like
starting
cryptocurrencies, websites, YouTube channels.
Oh hey, well I'm doing that right now. I am a YouTuber / Twitch streamer. So, I mean, we'll see how successful that turns out.
Etc.
Okay, 24-hour employees, okay.
Once $1 goes into your asset column, never let it come out again. Feed your asset column.
Okay.
Robert thinks of every dollar he puts into his asset column as an employee.
An employee.
Each dollar in my asset column is a great employee, making more employees to buy the boss a new Porsche.
Hey, that's, at least they're being honest, yeah. Yeah, employees exist to make money to buy the boss a Porsche, instead of, I don't know, the fruits of their own labor going back to them. They go to buying Porsches for the lazy fat cats who just sit on their golden throne with red velvet seating upholstery. And yeah, it's weird to think of dollars as employees. I mean, it's an asset. I guess it's working for you technically, but like an employee implies like an agency of some kind.
And the best thing about money is it can work for you 24 hours a day, and it can work for generations.
Okay. Wait, what? How is that minding your own business? Oh, I must have missed that. Whatever. Key lesson.
Don't confuse your profession with your business. The middle class focus on their profession, and as a result, they spend their entire lives building someone else's business.
Okay, so you have to build a business while also working your job. Okay.
The rich, on the other hand, focus on building their own.
Wait, I thought you were supposed to mind your own business, or I guess that's what that means. You build your own business instead of working for someone else's business. But not everyone can be their own small business owner. If like, even small business owners need employees to keep the business running, right? This is rich people talk. This is Richsplaining.
Businesses. Your profession focuses only on the income section of your personal income statement. Your business revolves solely around the asset column on your balance sheet.
Okay, assets as in owning properties, owning stocks, owning intellectual properties, all etc. Like all things that people definitely, like your average working class people are definitely capable of just acquiring if they save up enough money by not having a car or not having a home. To be continued. Okay, great. Yeah, I hope this never gets continued. Dislike.
Hello, friends. You made it to the
dislike. Yeah, made it to the end of the video, and I'm not your friend. How dare you?
Video. Just before you click off, thank you so much.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, disliked. I guess it doesn't matter if I dislike it, because dislikes are hidden, but yeah, whatever. Okay. Yeah, thanks for being easy prey to dunk on.